YouTube.
Hello everybody on YouTube.
Welcome to What the Hell Am I Doing, a YouTube channel that follows my journey from a car accident and having to stop my passion in life, music, to focus on rehab and then making the decision to eventually not be around cars and traffic anymore, and because of that big hit to the head, deciding to do something that I knew nothing about, being a sailor. To inspire myself, I'd become a YouTube sailing channel fanatic. I sailed the southeast coast of Australia, then even more inspired by some sailing channels who were buying and repairing hurricane-damaged sailboats, I also found myself the only sailboat I could afford, a hurricane-damaged one. But it was on the other side of the world in the Caribbean, and it came with more risks and having to deal with people being a bit scammy. By the time I got here, some people were advising me to cut my losses and walk away. That is just not who I am. I was in a pretty shady situation involving a dodgy big shot salvager and a sketchy boatyard, but I was also in a new world, on an island where people were trying to recover after being smashed by a massive hurricane, as others were trying to take advantage of them. I was warned to be very, very careful, but by the time we got to this episode, I just about had enough of the BS I was being told, and I just wanted my boat. Through all of this, I was still trying to put the laptop away and de-stress from all the toxicity of the situation and get out and try and enjoy my surroundings. I was in the beautiful Caribbean after all. So rather than just sitting there and getting angrier and angrier while waiting for an email from the salvager, I decided to get outside. Luckily for me, it never takes long once stepping outside on that island for reminders to hit me of just how lucky I actually am and slap me back into a sense of gratitude. All I had to do was get on a bike and look around. The devastation from Hurricane Beryl was still everywhere, as were the obvious signs that people were still doing it tough, in a place that was already tough enough before the hurricane. One such person that I met on this bike ride was a local lad named Akim. Akim's account of what happened during Hurricane Beryl is not for the faint-hearted.
You used to live in that house?
Yeah.
Okay. You're living here now in the tent? Oh. And you've been living there since the hurricane, have you?
Since after the hurricane.
Yeah.
This tree actually come out from quite up on the hill there.
Really?
Yeah.
It came down here.
Yeah, that come out from behind this house here.
So that tree was behind that house up
Yeah,
there?
and that come and, break the house down.
Unbelievable.
And I was in the house.
And you were in that house?
No, right here.
Oh, this house here? So
Yeah,
there's
right
nothing
here.
left?
No, everything gone up.
So was this what type of, was it a timber house, wooden house, or? Yeah, right. Oh my gosh.
Everything here just, I do a lot of cleaning up and,
Yeah. Did the house go back on these stumps as well, did it?
yeah, that way the house was resting on top of these pillars here.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm sorry. Sorry this happened, mate. And the people in this house, were they okay?
No.
No, what happened there?
Well, the house, everything go flat. I shelter up there.
Yeah.
In the house there, in that downstairs, the way you see that.
Yeah, you sheltered in
right
there. Yeah.
I shelter right there. I go spend burial like after burial, like after burial.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! And did it happen? Did this happen in the first part of the hurricane or the second part?
Well, I lost my house in the first part of the hurricane.
Yeah. And then you had the eye come through.
The eye, and then after, when the eye came, we run there.
Yeah.
And shelter. We help a couple people around the area which lost their house, like
These guys here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that house there, that's.
Yeah, this one was totally blown down.
Oh my gosh. And there was another house here as well.
Yeah.
Wow. Where are all these?
There was one right here too as well.
And another house there where these foundations are. Has the government come to see you or promised any help?
Well, no, I'm trying to get some help from the government.
Yeah. Yeah.
They help me.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people
Affected.
who affected and trying to get help.
Yeah.
When Hurricane Beryl hit Akim's house, it basically disintegrated around him. Timbers were ripped off and roof sheets peeled off and went flying one by one in winds of over 230 kilometres per hour. To make matters worse, a massive tree was uprooted and thrown close to 100 metres and tore right through the remaining bits of Akim's house, and by some miracle he escaped. As debris flew around him, he ran 50 metres to another nearby friend's house, but that house too was then destroyed. By some miracle, Akim had survived and avoided getting hit by the numerous pieces of roof sheeting and timbers that were swirling around at speeds that meant you probably wouldn't see anything coming should it hit you. I could tell though that the recounting of the story was not very nice for Akim. The sheer terror of a situation like that, I don't think you could understand unless you experienced it firsthand. After seeing him looking a bit shaken, even recounting the story, I tried to change the subject and asked him what he did for work. He told me that he was one of the boat captains that ferry people across the water from Paradise Beach to Sandy Island. Ah, perfect, I said. I want to go there. So I thanked him for telling his story and promised him I'd return the next day to catch his boat and go and check out this amazing little island that everyone's been raving about in the online cruises forums and group. The next day I woke up and there was still no return emails from the salvage company. I took a deep breath and sucked it up, but decided to try and keep my mood up again for the day and together with Elizabeth the travel writer, head down to Paradise Beach. Stopping on the side of the road to look at one of the damaged buildings, we met some kids that asked us if they could ride our bikes.
Careful, it's only got brakes on one side. I don't see many bikes on the island.
Because some of them just punch up.
They then introduced us to their dad, Cobra, who ran a place called the Snake Pit. Cobra also told me the story of how he, his wife and kids survived Hurricane Beryl. His business, however, was not so lucky.
And this is the Snake Pit, owned by Cobra. And this is Cobra. When do you think this place reopen again?
Maybe another 6 years.
6-8 months. Still going to do the roof?
The roof is finished.
Yeah.
Well, not quite. Still have some work on the roof. We still have some work on the barn, which is
Yeah.
and then we need to do the awning. We just need to do things. So might be a little before that, but I wouldn't put it past 6 months because the time creeps fast.
The kids love the bikes around here. Ah, yes, you did. Okay. You can ride? Okay. What's your name? Miracle. Hi, Miracle. How are you?
Good.
I'll give it to you in a minute, okay? We'll
Hello.
Hello, YouTube.
Hello, YouTube.
Can you tell us a little bit of what happened on the day of Beryl?
That's a experience that is so vivid. Sometimes you tend to forget everything because it's so vivid.
Okay, yeah.
So for like 3 hours, we have pounding winds, almost 200 miles coming in from the north, and it came in so fast.
So the north is just that way, yeah? From to the beach, yeah? Okay. Yeah.
It came in so fast, and after 3.5 hours, then we have the eye coming over. It lasted for about 20, 25, 30 minutes. And then for another hour and a half, we get pounded from due south. It was the tail coming in from the south, but it's the tail coming in from the south is what did all the damage in like an hour and a half. Those containers you see over there on that side, those containers over there, they belong to a fishers organization called CFF, Caribou Fisher Folks. The containers was flipping in the air and they all came in on the side of the building, slamming into the building.
Wow.
Yeah, they blocked the road and everything. We had to pay a huge heap of money to get them through, but they would have been used back to that spot.
Wow.
Yeah.
The government didn't do that for you?
Well, no, not really. We need some help and thing in trying to put things back together. Not just for me and the business,
Yeah.
but for that fishers organization we have just next door here.
Yeah.
We really need to. So if there is anybody listening and anybody in a position to help with anything, whether it's skills or finances or whatever, workmanship, and they could help us. We had a neighbor house going in the first hour and a half of the hurricane. And there was a kid from the neighbor's house, which she was born in New York, and she not used to anything like that. And she was here with us because after the house fell, they came inside, and she was just shouting and screaming the whole time through the hurricane. She just had all my attention. This little one, this is Miracle. This is my little one, Miracle.
Hi, Miracle.
And she was just as quiet as a lamb. She couldn't say anything or do anything. She was just cool as ice.
But you're okay now? Yeah. So what were you doing here before? Drinks, burgers, anything like that? Food?
No, we mostly do seafood.
Seafood. Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
we specialize in grilled fish. I'm also a fisherman and a chef.
Oh, fantastic.
So what we do is we cook what we catch.
Okay,
So we
fantastic.
get it straight from the sea and straight to the grill.
And you have accommodation here usually?
We have 2 small apartments.
Can you put down the
We have some
seed?
accommodation.
Yes.
We have the souvenir shop inside. If you're in Caribou and you really want to get a nice taste of some really nice grilled fish, you need to come to the Snake.
Okay, and you'll have your accommodation up and running in about 6 months as well, you think? Or
Yeah, hopefully. In 2 weeks we get one of the apartments functional,
Yeah.
and the next one will be in a couple of months. But yeah, hopefully.
That's 2 weeks from now. We're in mid-April of 2025, if anyone wants to know. So you can come to Snake Pit. It's on Paradise Beach, literally 100 metres to one of the most beautiful beaches in the Caribbean. He's got accommodation up there. There's a gift shop in here. You can.
What's left of the gift shop?
Some of the gifts went out for free today during the hurricane.
Yeah, lots of them. You know, we have a lot of carvings and souvenirs from guys.
Yeah.
This I was lucky to save this. This is a really old painting of one of the most famous artists the Caribbean ever see. This is a painting by Kanye Callis, who died a couple of years ago. But he's was ranked #2 artist in the Caribbean.
Okay. Fantastic.
If you, well, there was some paintings in the museum, but I don't think after burial there is no more museum. So we're still lucky to have one painting from him.
Oh, the museum got destroyed as well
The
here?
museum got destroyed as well.
Oh, that's sad.
And here we still have some snake pit t-shirts.
I will get one of those. Okay, so this is the snake pit. It's a little bar, accommodation upstairs. This is Cobra, and if you want to support Cobra, please look this place up. You're 100 metres off one of the nicest beaches in the Caribbean, as I said before, and you can't go wrong staying here. You'll really get a taste of island life.
Hello.
Hang on, it's recording me. Now it's recording you. And you can say hello.
Hello.
Say hello, everybody on YouTube.
Hello, everybody on YouTube.
After meeting Cobra and his beautiful family, we headed down to the beach to meet Akim. Once again, I was pretty lost for words by what they had gone through and how brave they all were, especially the kids.
What are you doing today?
I couldn't imagine going through something like that, and more importantly, how much fear I'd have for the kids in that situation.
There you go.
You're welcome.
Let me take it out.
And after hearing Cobra's and Akim's stories, I could not believe that more people weren't injured in what was almost a Category 5 storm. One of those fatalities was when a man left the safety of his own house. There were also many others injured due to the hurricane woman, but when you see the sheer volume of roof sheets which were torn off and the damage that a roof sheet can do at over 230 kilometres per hour, and see houses demolished leaving no protection for their occupants, it boggles the mind how more people weren't lost or injured. As we left the snake pit and headed down to the beach to meet Akim and get across to Sandy Island, I collected my thoughts. Walking along this tranquil, picture-perfect Caribbean beach, I couldn't picture the contrasting terror that had taken over this place for a few hours just 8 months prior. And I wondered how a place so stunningly beautiful could also hold the caveat of such a terrifying yearly threat, and how that must affect the people that live here. Every new weather system sweeping off the African coast and across the Atlantic almost every couple of days for almost 2/3 of the year brings with it a new chance at a hurricane. And the now much warmer water means many of those storms get supercharged. It'd be a tough way to live. Or maybe, when there's so much to worry about, it teaches you not to worry. Maybe that explains why these people don't seem to get bothered by a lot. After hearing how a man lost his entire home and belongings as he stood in the centre of it, and how another beautiful and very humble family with young kids lost their roof, house, business and livelihood, it really puts things in perspective and reset my thoughts. Having earlier met locals that had enjoyed the unthinkable really helped me to take my mind off my situation and take a breath. I was still pretty worried that I'd be leaving the island without my boat, but now it didn't seem like so much of a big deal compared to what these brave people had endured and were still enduring. Yes, my situation was precarious, but if all of this fell apart, I could simply walk away and try again. With all of that in mind, it was also time to experience one of the most idyllic and beautiful, white-sanded, palm tree and coral-lined, picture-perfect little tropical islands you can find in the Caribbean. Further down Paradise Beach at Paradise Beach Club, we met Akim. Akim welcomed us on board and ferried us across to Sandy Island in his boat and promised to come and get us again in a couple of hours when we were finished. Want an Instagram moment? Well, it doesn't get much better than this. Sandy Island is a coral reef island just a few hundred metres off Paradise Beach on Carriacou Island. The white sands and palm trees give it a vibe as if it were designed for a postcard. Its beauty and picture-perfect appeal was obvious, but the damage from Hurricane Beryl was still very visible. Prior to Hurricane Beryl, it was known for its palm trees, white sand, reef and marine life, but all of these had been affected. At one point the ocean split the island in two, but that had almost repaired itself 8 months later. A few palm trees were still standing, but were pushed over and some gone altogether. Sandy Island was, and still is, a must-visit location for snorkeling and diving, but as I snorkeled around, the damage to the reef was really obvious. Even so, it was still better than all of the beaches and islands I'd ever swam at near my hometown. Marine life looked like it was well on its way to recovering, but at one point I thought it was maybe recovering a little too much, and I was enveloped in a bait ball. Now I thought, what could be causing a bait ball? It was probably nothing. Back on the island itself, and the really great surprise was the coral gardens. I'm not sure who put in all of the effort to create these cute sandy paths through the beached coral, but I'd never seen anything like this before. Man and nature had combined to create a magical little island and a place that I thought was like no other, and likely I'll never forget. Our time on Sandy Island went way too quick. After a few hours of snorkeling and soaking up paradise, we signalled to Akim, who came and collected us to take us back to Paradise Beach, where at Paradise Beach Club we sat with salty skin and satisfied minds. We ordered cocktails and pizzas, and somehow managed to ride the bikes back to Bennie. This day, pretty surprisingly, and despite the impending disaster of losing my boat, had turned out to be the best day of the whole trip. That night I crawled into bed, grateful for what I have, my health, the people and experiences I'm still able to have, and I was so fulfilled that day that I fell asleep in minutes. I didn't think once about the dodgy big shot salvager, the crooked boatyard, or the salvage company. For me, that's the magic of the ocean. And maybe a few margaritas. The next morning hit me with a thud though. I checked the tickets to the ferry, and with a huge sense of dread, I checked my emails to see if the salvage company had replied, and again there was nothing. So after 3 weeks on the island, I had no resolution to the impounding of my boat, no word from the owner of the salvage company, no suitable replacement mast found, around 5 months of storage fees owing, which I didn't want to pay until I had assurances that I could have my boat, a large stack of stories from other boat owners about how crooked this boatyard was, a whole bunch of stress, but somehow still no grey hair. But I felt it wasn't far off. The feeling I had on this morning honestly made me sick. I can't reveal how much money was hanging in the air at this time, because I will do an episode on how much all of this cost me soon. But trust me when I tell you it was way more than I could afford to lose, especially after the car accident. As we closed the hatch and locked the companionway aboard Bennie the Beneteau, I said my goodbyes, knowing in my heart that this would be the last time I'd see her, and with that, a dream was going to die. We boarded the ferry to leave Carriacou, and we left with my heart sunken. I don't think I talked at all on that 2-hour ferry ride. In my head, I was clutching at straws. I thought the only hope now was that a resolution was reached in the next few days, and I could return from Grenada to move Bennie out of the sketchy boatyard and into the other boatyard before we flew out. However, Elizabeth and I had flights to St. Martin booked in just a few days, and leaving her to travel there by herself on an island that I had just made her watch a video about that was titled Island of Crime was gonna be a bit of a hard sell. So as the ferry rode the waves back to the main island of Grenada for our last few days in the country before we flew out, I began to accept the sad inevitable truth. I knew the battle for Bennie was over. In the next episode, Even though the battle for Bennie was lost, a recommendation from Raf and Sasha and from Andy, the mega awesome South African, to call a guy regarding the possibility of a mast leads to the possibility of acquiring a whole other sailboat. And we check out the absolute coolest and quirkiest hotel in Grenada that reminds me a little bit of the Flintstones before leaving to go to St. Martin, where I check out an abandoned multi-million-dollar waterfront resort left over from Hurricane Irma. Okay, legends, see you in the next one.